Hello friends, we present to your attention the third issue of the project The Most Delicious. Last time we found out who has the most delicious mango and raspberry. And today we will find out who makes the best kiwi. The project involves Blackburn, Darkside, Must Have, Sapphire, Sabernet and another secret brand for our members. But you already have it, you can see it on the screen. 20 people are evaluated. These are ambassadors, professionals and simple amateurs. There are 2 rounds ahead, those are blind and open smoking. In the first blind round, our guests don't know what they are smoking and give grades according to the board assist from 1 to 6. The next round is an open smoking session, and the guests already know what they are smoking, and also score from 1 to 6 according to the board system. Friends, this is going to be a very interesting issue about kiwis. Here we go. Hello everyone, my name is Alexei. I'm the ambassador of Burn Tobacco. Not so long ago, my company presented 2 new flavors in a product called Banger. It is Mexican pear, cactus, and raspberry. Very cool flavors. You should definitely give them a try. I advise you to combine the raspberries with something, so they will reveal their potential much better. I also would like to tell you about a cool project called Burn Best Sellers, which took place not so long ago in the city of Kazan. We gathered sellers in one place for 3 days, trained them, held various very cool events, and made the industry much better and more educated. Be sure to attend this event if you get the chance. All up-to-date information on future events will be in our Burn bot, the link will be in the description. So friends, just like last time, our ambassadors will pack their bowls. The tobacco ambassador will be packing a bowl with must-have tobacco. 10 years of packing experience, right? Okay, in addition we have Evgeny, who is the ambassador of the brand Element, who'll check the quality of the packing, just in case. He's the chief hookah man of the Kane restaurant in Ekaterinburg. I apologize, I forgot. Come on friends, let's get to the packing now. I'll be packing our secret brand a little later. Our innovations, this is Evgeny. He's going to be checking, I guess, the quality of the packing. I guess that's it. I think they're a little bit dense. What do you think? In fact, they're all somehow universal. Let's call it that. Some have it, some don't, some are fluffier, some are less fluffy, but either way, I think they're mass market packings. What do you think is the most potentially strongest one? Which brand? I think they're Darkside and Must Have. Here is the most optimal ones. Friends, you've heard it all for yourselves. This guy has more than 5 years experience working as a chief ambassador of Kane. Dear friends, we're having our tasting on Misha hookahs. My thanks to the company Alpha Hookah. This is a very good hookah for both amateur and professional. With the promo code COSMO10, you can buy Misha hookahs on the Alpha Hookah website with 10% discount. Like I said before, brand X is our kiwi flavored tobacco. I decided to do an experiment. The tobacco company itself liked this idea. I want to see how much ambassadors and hookah lovers will understand that this is not tobacco at all, but the kiwi flavored nicotine part. And as you know, Denis, the ambassador of the tobacco company, was packing a must-have before this. He also doesn't know that we're going to have tobacco participating, which is his brand, where he works as an ambassador. Another thing I also wanted to say about kiwi. I know that Must Have and Blackburn don't have pure kiwi. Okay, we're going to take a direction. So for example, if in the next video there will be pineapple, but the Must Have company or Sabernet doesn't have pineapple, but they have a pineapple drink or there's, I don't know, pineapple rings. Those will also go into the work because it's 80% pineapple and then small mixes. So kiwi smoothie and kiwi stoner are involved in our test. And we're packing the tobacco. Really curious about how our ambassador is going to identify what the brand is. Because they will have a focus on it. They will want to know what is packed in there. A big hello to Kirill Ovchinnikov, Ella and Sergey Merkolov. Friends, I'm packing in such a way that naturally it's not clear what is packed here. Slightly dense, just a little bit, and a slight indentation with a little pit. Well, I mean, it's very much tobacco-like in a way it's packed. By the way, particularly all the ambassadors pack bowls without a pit. Except Chewbacca's one. Well, right, we'll do it without a pit.
Два и один сверху. Как обычно.
Что, ребят, давайте приступим к первой дегустации. Это слепой покур. 3, 2, 1, погнали!
Another innovation, dear friends, is that our ambassadors and in general our guests, nobody knew what we were going to smoke until we presented the flavor here at the event. And this is done so that the ambassadors do not smoke their own flavors, do not smoke the flavors of competitors, so that they do not choose their own brand correctly. Because we're here to identify the most flavorful kiwi. It was very difficult and everybody, absolutely everybody, went to their second round, and I don't know what the grades will be. But I think it will be 100% objective and incredibly interesting. So we're now waiting for the evaluations. Here literally in 2 minutes we'll calculate everything, and so we'll let you know. My friends, the Coca Loco brand has been supporting us for the third issue as our sponsor. Personally, I can say that it's the most stable cold and rush, which doesn't change its quality since 2018. Coca Loco is the choice of professionals. So first up we have Evgeny, so you're like a checker. So I decided to take you first for the interview. What was the most delicious hookah in your opinion? Well, the one I liked the most was hookah number 5. What was the flavor? I guess it was something like a kiwi. Something like a kiwi. It was sweeter. What brand is that? I've always liked kiwi from Must Have, to be honest, because I've always put it in my mixes, so I think it's probably a must have. The worst taste has a hookah number 3, in your opinion. Yeah. What brand was that? Honestly, I don't know. There's not a lot of assumptions. In fact, I was thinking that it wasn't the brand we haven't been told about. It's probably some kind of Zebra Black, for example. The aroma came off very early. I mean, it's very little flavor. Zebra usually suffers from this, as you say. Well, in my experience, yes, unfortunately. Why wasn't there an element in this issue? Unfortunately, we don't have any kiwis yet. But it's worth waiting a while. It will appear with some time. Will it be good? 100%. Thank you, Evgeny. Alexei is here, Blackburn's ambassador. Was it hard? That was hard. I wanted to swear at first. But then, well, I softened my emotions. Why? Because the kiwi profile for me is one of my favorites. I've liked absolutely every kiwi that's been on here so far. Yes, of course, there were candidates for minuses. But still, the profiles and keeping this profile was very honestly maximized by all of them. Okay, you gave the highest mark to hookah number 5. And I had a dissonance right here. I had dissonance between the 1st, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Those were the best kiwis for me. Probably the ones that I would personally smoke every day. But at the last moment, when I went for the second round, I was just almost in panic there. I was thinking to just blindly rate everything, to be honest. There are the 4 kiwis I can highlight though. The most unpalatable kiwi in your opinion is kiwi number 2. When I approached this hookah, well, it was towards the end. Unfortunately, I felt too harsh flavor there. Some kind of a little tobacco flavor, right? I guess. It's like a bit of an overheated hookah, unfortunately. You put the hookah number 4, 3. Yep. Again, you can see why I'm asking. Yeah. Well, tell me your emotions. It was hard, like everybody's got it right there. It's somewhere viciously sweet. Well, isn't the 4th different, for example, from the 1st? It's such a small fraction, just so small that it put me like that in a blind test for the first time. I just wouldn't guess right, even if I do every brand myself. Probably every brand who was there was present today. Does the management say anything to you about when the issue comes out? Like they're watching you too? Sure. Well done, or vice versa, how didn't you guess it right? Well, of course, it's still sooner or later necessary to return to the organizers who already exist in the brand, and it's still worth, so to speak, to remember how they work properly. Is Kiwi Stoner in the A category for sales? Yes. Thank you. So we have Dennis with us, a Chewbacca's ambassador. He's been in the hookah business for 10 years. And today he packed the must-have hookah. Yeah. You rated the hookah number 1 as 6. What brand do you think it is? Well, I think it's Kiwi Smoothie from Must-Have. Cause you're the ambassador. Well, overall, I'm being honest, I like the flavor. So, well, I'm 90% sure that was it. I liked it. I give it a 6. Alright, let's say you guessed what flavor it is right. Let's say Must-Have guessed the first place. Do you think it's okay to ask for some sort of compensation for the Must-Have to you for packing so well with the Must-Have tobacco? Well, I wouldn't mind. We got capitalism. Okay, you gave the hookah number 6 1 point. Is it correct? Yeah. What brand do you think it was? And what flavor was it? Hard to say, but I'll explain how I saw it all in the first place. In general, kiwi is one of my favorite flavors in the hookah industry. That's why I like the hookah number 1 the most, but I liked everything else too. This issue for me personally was marked by the fact that everything was delicious, so everything after the first hookah for me was such a big convention, because in general I like them all. So that's around it. What do you think here? Let's say we move on. The first one we've discussed, let's say hookah number 3, you gave it 2 points. What did it taste like? Isn't it worse than, for example, hookah number 1? Not that it's worse, it seemed to me that it was a little more watery. What brand do you think it was? It's hard to say. It's hard to say what it was. Let's say you can tell it there. Perhaps it was just the one we don't know about. Let's guess, what was it? Well, offhand, it was probably either Sapphire or we have Sapphire. No, I mean either the one we don't know or maybe the Sapphire one, because I'm not familiar with the kiwi from Sapphire. Alright, let's assume that we've decided on Sapphire. What do you think, for example, if, for example here, well, let's say you are the ambassador of tobacco, there is, for example, a brand under X would be tobacco, let's say. Do you think it would be able to score more points, the most points? The most amount of points? And is it hard to tell the difference between tea and tobacco? Well, actually, that's one of the fundamental principles of tobacco. No or minimal base of flavor. I think it would be quite difficult to tell the difference because you can't taste the base unless you overheat it. Put it on a hot cloud.
so I'll make the name rain forever and never dry. A speed demon, the way I'm reaping, I'll tell you why. I move too fast for the moment, shorty, it's hello, goodbye.
Sergey is here, the ambassador of the Severny brand, so you gave Hookah number 5 6 points. Tell us what's the flavor of Hookah number 5. How bad was Hookah number 3? So in general, I chose with my heart. I rated what I liked. In the third one, maybe the base was off. Or in the second one, I don't remember exactly, but that's how I gave the grades. What do you think the brand number 5 is, and what brand number 3 is? I have no idea. But in general, all kiwis tasted similar to me, so I can't really make an educated guess. But here I want to say that the ambassador Sergey didn't know until today what exactly we were going to smoke. And I do this in order to ask the ambassadors their opinions on the flavor as objectively as possible, and not so that they would vote for their brands. That's just a little bit of my thoughts. Hookah number 1, you gave it 5 points. Your guess, what brand is it? Probably Must Have. So we gave Must Have a 5, but I gave Hookah number 3 a 1. Yes. Now he'll say that number 3 is Severny. Well, I can't show you then. Come on, I won't show you. Well, I can congratulate you, but in any case, it's clear that you voted with your heart, as you say, with your soul. You're doing great. Thank you very much, Sergey. Polina? Yeah, Sapphire's ambassador. Please tell us what your management said after viewing the most delicious mango. It was really just a compliment, and our management basically thinks that we have a good mango, so everyone was pleasantly surprised, and that's all. Did they give you a bonus? No, what for? Well, let's ask for $50. No, the bonus has to be justified. Alright, you gave to Hookah number 1 a score of 1. Yes? So what was it? Here's the one. What flavor was it? I thought you gave it a 3 at first. Yes, well, because I did it first. In fact, I can generally say that if I had the opportunity, I would give everyone a minimum of 5 to 6. I give them scores in a you just have to format. That's it. I mean, for me, it was a little bit sweeter than I would have liked the kiwis to taste. That's probably your guess to what brand it was. Probably Must Have. Okay, you gave Hookah number 4 a 6. What was the flavor in the first place? I should remember it. Well, most likely if I give it a 6, it was more grassy taste and there was a presence of the peel. So in my mind, that was a kiwi should be like. Well, what was it? I don't know. I don't have any guesses at all. Well, kiwi is really hard. It was really hard. They were, first of all different, but they were all delicious. It wasn't that something was radically disliked. You gave number 3 Hookah a 4? What brand do you think it was? I'm asking because it's very important, because I'm very interested in your own emotion about guessing or not guessing right. I don't know, well, it could be either, so... I can guess it could be Sapphire, and I can only assume it could have been Blackburn. Okay, where do you think Incognito Hookah is located? What grade did you give it? Either 5 or 6. Okay. The Hookah number 6, the 5th Hookah. You gave it a score of 2. Yes, what was wrong with this Hookah? It was okay, but it was just the most different in terms of smoking character. I mean, it was a little stiff, a little uncomfortable. But if you take away the sensations and leave the aromatics, it was fine. Timothy is here, the ambassador of the Dark Side brand. Tim, do you have what's the name of your kiwi? Cyber Kiwi. Cyber Kiwi, that's right. You give Hookah number 2 1 point. That's right. And Hookah number 5 6 points. Tell me, what's the difference? Why there is such a big difference? 1 and 6. I need to remember all these feelings I've had now. I mean, Hookah number 2 turned out for me to be some kind of flowery in general. Hookah number 5 for me had this pulpness. Just the content of the kiwi fruit itself, I mean. Pulpiness? A ripe kiwi, just like the pulp of it. So by the pulpiness, I mean specifically the pulp. That's why I rated it like that. Yeah, for example, let's say we had a brand, an innovation. What brand was that? Look at your marks. Your hookah number 1 scored 3 marks. Hookah number 2 scored 1, 4, 5, 6, and 2. Look, I tried to guess what the brands might be. And hookah number 2 remains a dark horse for me. Yeah, and hookah number 6, for example, is also incomprehensible. You gave it 2 points. To my mind, the 6th seemed a bit distant from kiwi. That is, it's also something grassy, with a slight sourness, but not quite like kiwi. Again, this is my perception. What do you think? Dark side can win in this flavor, can get the majority. There is actually a chance, because it's a kiwi profile, it's interesting, and it is on the shelves in many restaurants. It's listed as one of the good ones, precisely not as a smoothie taste, precisely as the fruit itself. So we have Daria with us. So do you have a... are you an amateur? Yeah, that's right, but from the industry. Yeah. You work in marketing? Yeah, somewhere. In a coal company that cannot be named. Okay, but we know that Coca Loco is a call for professionals. Hey, you gave hookah number 2 1 point. Yes. What was that hookah? Some kind of hookah. Well, how was it in taste? The flavor was a little dry for me. I don't like to smoke Fijo and Pears, cause they're dry for me. And for me, the second hookah was like this. Okay, what brand was that? I don't know. I know that I don't like Blackburn's one. And I know I haven't smoked the Sapphire. Okay, what do you think? You gave the hookah number 6 the highest score. That's 6 points. What brand was that? Brand? Most likely, so... by method of elimination, most likely Dark Side, because it was the most intense. For me, Dark Side is always too much intense, but it's still very tasty. So we have Valerie with us. You're an amateur. Yeah. What was the last thing you smoked? What didn't you like? Just be honest about any brand. Like you went to the store and you didn't like it. Didn't like? Last Rust Punk. Okay, I'm just a little warm-up. Let's keep going. Can you please tell me you rated number 1 hookah as a 1? What brand was that? I think it was a must-have. Why? Well, I have a gut feeling. I can't remember what I really liked from must-have. I can't remember the last flavor that really satisfied me. Okay, hookah number 5, you gave it 6 score. Right there. Yeah, 6 points. Oh, and you wrote here that it's Sapphire. Yeah, I assumed it was a Sapphire. I was very hopeful because I really liked Sapphire at previous smoke sessions. Turn back for a second. Here, look. Over there. See? He's laughing. It wasn't Sapphire. It wasn't Sapphire. It wasn't Sapphire. Well, it just assumed. Well, never mind. It didn't work. Yeah, look, you gave hookah number 3 4 points. What brand do you think it was? Actually, I can't guess. I can't remember it. I think it might have been Dark Side or Blackburn. Yeah, well, was there something about, all the stuff you smoked? Did you like it overall or not? Or was there something that something unpleasant? That was pretty much all in all. The brands were in a high level today. It was difficult to graduate from 1 to a 6. I disliked the first hookah the most. The second and third, I was hesitant. I put them down a bit. The last 3, since I smoked the last one, well, yes, they satisfied me. What brand X do you think we took today? Brand X? Well, I was choosing between 3 options. It's most likely Sarma, Nash, or probably Sebiro. Thank you. You're welcome. And also, friends, the sponsor of the issue is Dark Side Company, and there is Theo, that's Dark Side Ambassador, who wants to tell you about Blackout. Friends, what is Blackout? It's a massive tour that launched in March and will run through May. This is the biggest and massive tour that Russia and the world has ever seen. First of all, the main 2 goals of this tour is to surpass ourselves and to unite the community. All kinds of formats, educational campuses, hangout auto darks, and there are much more and other stuff that you can watch on our platform. Dark Side World. The link will be in the description. Wait, say it again. Dark Side World. Remember it, the link is at the bottom. The link is in the description. Another innovation for our viewers. To be as clean and transparent as possible, it's our ambassadors smoking their tobaccos before the open tasting, to make everything as clean and transparent as possible. So friends, until today, now we have an open tasting starting, and the guys still don't know what kind of hookah X. What kind of incognito hookah is it? And I want to open, so to speak, this curtain and show you now this brand, Tobacco. Woo! Hooray! Yeah! Who guessed it? Raise your hand. Where did you guess it from? It's Tobacco, guys. That's why it's hookah number 5, and here we go! Well guys, we have come to the end of the open smoking session, and what I can say, when we opened the tobacco, we had some kind of unloading and it was immediately clear, right, how to make estimates. Almost no one left for the second smoking session. All the ambassadors, all the amateurs already knew exactly for whom to vote and how to do it. As I think this voting will clearly show the marketing differences of brands, because all the kiwis that we smoked are about the same. But we will see now who won according to the marketing. So we have Alexei here with us. Alex, 2 questions. First question, you gave Blackburn a mark of 6, Severny a mark of 1. Is that correct? Am I lying? Yeah, that's right. Can you please tell me why there's such a big difference and what was the worst hookah? The worst one. I'll explain why I did that. First, because everything we have now and everything we have smoked, I have smoked very many times with the ambassadors that come to visit my restaurants. And I will say this, my smoking experience with the Kiwi Professional differed very much than that was the first time I smoked it. I smoked it much better under my conditions than, let's say, I've been smoking it today at the moment. Did you know that the hookah, the secret one number 5, was a Severny? Okay, well done. You rated it as 6, so I liked it a lot better in the first variation. So it was a kind of difference? There was a difference, I guess, yeah. When I felt and realized that at this point, here in the open voting, I smoked very differently than at the first time. Roughly speaking, on first impression, I can say the same about Tobacco's Kiwi. Not this profile at all I smoked and encountered with it initially. Hookah Sapphire, you rated it in the open session as 5 points, right? And in the closed one, 1 point. Yeah, I guess something went wrong. Well, I guess I'll say this, it was very difficult to find something in here that differed Kiwi tastes for me. It was very difficult, and it seemed like somehow at some point I just tried to taste it somehow, to be as objective as possible. But it was very difficult for me. And the first time when I went even to the second round, I basically was already making these assessments just in chaos. Although I wanted to give everyone around 5 to 6. Well, in some cases 4, really 4, because somewhere the flavoring came off and it smoked wrong. But this time absolutely the same situation happened, that I pretty much wanted to give all brands just a 5 to 6, just confident, solid one. Is it possible to say that the Blackburn smoked better in an open session than in a closed one? It was the same. Where it was closed one, what number it was? To my sense it was either the 4th hookah, well here, somehow in there. Well, that's right, it was the 4th hookah. So Pauline is here, the Sapphire's ambassador. You gave 6 points to Sapphire. Yes. How much do you think you put? Oh, I showed you that. Yeah, you in the closed one, you put 3 points to the Sapphire. Why such a difference? Well, the difference is that I've said before that if I had the opportunity, I'd give everyone a 5 to 6. Doesn't matter if it's Sapphire, Must-Have, Blackburn, whatever. And in the open, well, let's start with the fact that I respect the applied work of the company I work for. And this is such a tribute. Is that a good kiwi? It's a good kiwi. 100%. Let's put it this way. I haven't come across a bad one here. Let's start with that. It's true. Hookah number X, as it turned out to be tobacco. I beg your pardon. We have, you gave it 4 points on the closed session and 2 on the open one. I was saying that there was a characteristic in the closed one. I realized what that characteristic was. I thought it was spicy, I mean kiwi, which is not really kiwi, and so, in some kind of analysis, it came out like this for me. You gave 2 points to Severny in the closed one and 5 points in the open one. Well, there you go. I say I like them all. I give marks because marks should be given, obviously. I've been with Severny's kiwi for a long time and it's good. Must have 1 point in each. I just don't like that it's oversaturated, that's all. So there you go. How hard it was to choose a kiwi now? And what advice would you have for viewers? What kiwi to try? Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, 100% you have to try it. If you want to smoke something sweet, you have to try either Blackburn or Dark Side. It's a sweeter kiwi smoothie. If you prefer smoking more grassy with a slight sourness, then it's about Sapphire and most likely about Severny. That is, it's more calm, more refined, so neat. Thank you very much. You're welcome. So, Timothy, we have a very interesting situation here with you. First of all, you gave Dark Side a score of 6. How do you think you rated Dark Side in the closed session? A mark from 1 to 6? A mark from 1 to 6. Honestly, I think I may have given one of the high scores. You gave him a mark of 2. Well, was it good not to know what flavor would be in the tasting today? Yeah, actually, I didn't realize there was gonna be a mango. But you told me, I told you in the comment chat, that there would be mangoes. Really? And you said that you've been preparing for this issue. And I decided to keep the suspense to the end because of you. So no one would know what we'd be smoking. You outplayed me today. Yes, but I'll outplay you in the next video, alright? Why is there such a big difference between 2 and 6? And tell me what kind of mango is that grows from the worst mark to be best mark after a while. Oh mango, I say kiwi. What is the flavor? Well, look, here after all, we were hitting the bells on our own. The hitting for me was on 4 calls. Is that right or wrong? No, we had it in the second session. It was like, to me, everything was right. That is, in the first blind one, it was hitting on 2.5. That is, on 3 calls. That is still not enough, and most likely the aromatics were more correctly revealed in the second, let's say, open smoking session. Okay, hookah number 6, then, X. Tobacco. You gave it 4 points in the closed session, 1 point in the open one. Well, everything again is as subjective as possible, and personally I felt raw materials that distanced from the main body of flavor. But you can really feel the raw material on tobacco, when you compare it to tobacco a little bit. It's coming out. But is it possible to determine what, in close testing, that we've got not a tobacco? With the realities that we had, on a slight underheating. This raw material story might not have opened up. I still think it played out that way. But can a person who doesn't smoke tell, even one who smokes hookah frequently, that it's tea and not tobacco in the cup? It's gonna be difficult. Yes, that's the most important thing I wanted to convey in today's experiment. Should an ambassador always give his brand the highest mark in the open scores? Here in open voting? Well, let's just say, if it's all written in the stars, if there are 4 coals, if I smoked it myself, packed it myself, heated it myself. Under those circumstances, yes, it's perfectly valid. If you're doing something again incorrectly, if you skip some points, you may not have the full flavor. So again, my personal recommendation to you is to follow the recommendation for packing and for heating up, and choose a bowl from the dark side. Really cool balls, by the way. Good ones. I agree. Thank you very much. Thank you. The video has been made with the support of the Sapphire, Severny Cosmo Ball, an incognito brand. It's Chewbacca. Thank you very much. Sergey, yeah. You gave Severny 6 points in the open session. You gave it 1 in the closed one. Why such a difference? Well, that's how it worked out. Why? Well, the circumstances were against me. But I chose with my heart. With your heart. I liked it enough to give it a 1. I don't know how to say this properly, my dear viewers, and also our people here, but Sergey is the only ambassador who put the same number of points to his brand in the closed and open session both. Oh, so I still gave it a 6? Yeah, I also didn't say where it was or anything. And then he also teased me up in the first interview. And then you teased me up. Yes, I did. It was very interesting to watch your emotions. Look, you've got a difference on the Sapphire. You put 2 points in the closed session, 4 points in the open one. Why is there a slight difference like that? Well, I liked it better in the open than in the closed one. Do you think ambassadors should give their brand the highest mark in the open testing? Well, if he thinks that the flavor deserves the highest mark, then he should. Why didn't it work out this way with the mango? Well, the mango didn't work out this way. Let it be a mystery. Okay, dear subscribers, please tell me why the mango failed and the kiwi succeeded. But it wasn't the worst mark with the mango. Not the most. There was a half. There was a little bit of hesitation in the quality of mango, right? Thank you. Well, what can I say? Good job. Denise is here, Chewbacca's ambassador, but also today he packed a must-have. It's true. Yes, you gave the highest mark in 6 points to must-have in the closed and open sessions. I like kiwi smoothies. I said it right away. Are the kiwis from must-have good? I think so. Do you think it's today's winner or... Well, I think it's one of the candidates. Because it's quite balanced. I put forward this theory that despite the fact that it's still smoked a bit differently here than at home or in the lounge, due to the humidity difference there, it's more stable. And plus I've been packing it myself. You rate it even though you didn't pack the tobacco, but I can do it too. I packed the tobacco in the closed and in the open session. But you scored 2 points in the closed one and 4 points in the open one. Why there's such a difference? And do you think if you were packing tobacco, we'll try to arrange that in the next issue? Would tobacco have scored more? I think not. My point is that objectively, the kiwi from tobacco is good, but it's not the top kiwi from my point of view, but at the same time, excellent. But why the difference in scores? Well, we still have a moment subjectively here. On the one hand, like everywhere else, perhaps there is some pressure of open and closed voting, but certainly since that it's not the first time I take part in this show, and hopefully not the last, it's impossible to make everything smoked in the same way, in 2 different sessions. That's why I felt that way and put it that way. Is there a difference in smoking tobacco and no nicotine one? I mean tea. I think tobacco has a minimal one because it's one of our main features and advantages, the absence or minimal flavor of the base. If we do not pack it well not on extreme high temperatures or in the ultra heating. You gave the Sapphire 3 points in the closed session, 1 point in the open one. What was wrong? I'd not say that it was wrong. Like I said, the must-have was absolutely stable, and it was clear what and how it was smoked. Everything else wasn't clear. I love kiwi in general. It's one of my favorite flavors in the hookah industry, and so everything smoked roughly well, but it needed to be distributed better. So I tried it the first time, and put it how I felt, and tried it the second time, and also put it how I felt. Does brand influence the perception of flavor? I can say 100% yes. It's pushing you, even if we don't want to admit it, or even if we resist it. We may not put, but the naming of the brand is pushing. It's 100%. Do you think if I didn't open... In the open session, I didn't open tobacco, would there be any difference in the scores? The difference in the assessment, I think yes. Because I've done these experiments many times where we smoked with some guys and they say great. Even the ones that don't like it say we don't smoke tea. They would smoke it and they'd say great. I show it to them and they would say how come? Look, why I called you here, give me your closed session list, please. Here, you can see it on the back shot right now. Look, you've identified the must-have correctly. The hookah number 2 as Sapphire. How did you identify the hookah number 3 as Tobacco? Is it okay to curse? Yeah. Anyway, the first one I smoked, I immediately realized that it's a must-have. Because it's a juicy, bright aroma, not quite like kiwi, but I use kiwi smoothies in my work all the time. The second one I realized it was a piece of shit. Don't worry, Polina. Then I go to the third one, but I already rated Sapphire as 1. And I tried Tobacco and I realized that it's even worse. And I roughly realized that I felt a Chinese blend. This one, Chaika. And at first I thought it was jam, but it didn't look like their kiwi. So I decided it was Tobacco. How did the only person for almost the entire time of the existence of our project to manage to put both in the closed and in the open sessions absolutely the same score? It was about the same, I mean... It was clear. The only thing that I had doubts about is Severney and Blackburn. The Severney was a little bit on the throat. Harsh, huh? I mean, professional, yeah. And Blackburn is more of creamy flavor. So here we are, friends, the final. I want to say that we have no losers because all the kiwis that were smoked are really very cool and awesome. But anyway, we have a gradation from 1st to 6th place. And the 6th place, 46 points, is a Tobacco. Tobacco. And 5th place, 60 points. The difference with 5th place is 14 points. It's a Sapphire. 4th place, 65 points. The difference of only 5 points with the 5th place is the company Dark Side. 3rd place, 74 points. A difference of 9 points. It's the brand Blackburn. 1st and 2nd place, a difference of only 1 point. 88 for 1st place and 86 for 2nd place. 1 point. What do you think? It's pretty clear, isn't it? It's Severney and Must Have. 1st and 2nd place. Now for the results of the public vote. 6th place with 36 votes is Tobacco. What's the point? Minus 10 votes because it's tea. Really, if we hadn't revealed that it was Tobacco in the open session, it would have gotten more, because it wouldn't have been so unfocused, so it would have been clearly hid there. 5th place, 68 points. Surprisingly to me, it's Dark Side. 4th place, 74 points. The same number of points for the 3rd brand. The 3rd place brand is Sapphire and Blackburn, sharing 74 points. That is absolutely the same. 2nd place goes to the Severney brand with 79 points. And it just fucked up, as they say, Must Have with 89 points. Now the point total, 6th place is Tobacco, 5th place Dark Side, 4th place Sapphire, 3rd place Blackburn, 2nd place Severney, 1st place Must Have. That's the total points. I think it was as subjective and fair as possible. For kiwis at least. I don't know what's next. I really want you friends to write in the comments what flavor we should take the next time, because it's very important. Because we need to interact with you to understand what you're smoking and what we need to work on, what we need to smoke. That's it, guys. Thank you very much to everyone who was here. So friends, we have nominations. The first thing I want to say about Tobacco, the thing is that we decided within our experiment to conduct another experiment on the influence of tea, on the perception of taste, and we found it. In our open voting, the tea scored less than in the closed voting, and this makes it clear that after 24 years, there's still a problem with the perception of tea. We have a nomination for strong marketing, which is the difference in closed and open voting. The stronger the marketing, the more it in open ones. What about Sapphire? It's the most stable. It has almost the same number of points in both closed and open sessions. There are 3 brands at once. This is Must-Have, this is Blackburn, and this is Darkside. The minimum number of points. Everything is cool and awesome. The most delicious are the 2 brands with the only 1 point difference. It's Severny and it's Must-Have. Well, it's impossible. I can't say that Severny is the best in this, because 1 point is the difference. Someone put it wrong somewhere and that's it. But it's okay, it's all just 1 point. That's it, guys. We've had a show today. Please write in the comment section, but I've got one more cool thing for you. I want to raffle off this wonderful Darkside suitcase. It's a very desirable item for, I think, everyone who is watching the show today. This wonderful suitcase with engravings and symbols of Darkside can be won. The conditions are as simple as possible. Subscribe to my channel, Cosmoball, on YouTube. Write comments on how you like this video. Be sure to insert your link to any social media you have. VK or Telegram or Instagram, it doesn't matter. It's forbidden social network in Russia. And you repost this video to your social network. Again, it doesn't matter. VK, Instagram, Telegram, Odnoklassniki, it doesn't matter. If you win, we will hold it. Well, let's do it on the first day. No. Let's say on April 15th. We will have the results of the contest, and if you suddenly win, I will go to your link where you made a repost, and if there is no repost, unfortunately we will choose a new winner. Friends, that's all for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Write, comment, participate in the contest, and don't forget that Kalyan для Россиян will show you the final lists, who voted and how. It will be possible to see. The link's in the description. Kalyan для Россиян, look for it. That's it, guys. The time is 8 PM, we all started filming at 2 PM. I'm exhausted, so I'm stuttering even to speak. I'm off to have a rest. Thanks a lot, bye bye.